Bring in Michael Allen, former National Security Council Senior Director. So there's all of that. Plus, in the New York Times, I'm reading this from a state broadcaster saying that I have never seen images like these before in my life, saying it was the worst kind of crackdown that he had ever seen. What are you hearing? And if the United States were to help, where's the best place to do that and how?
Well, I agree with the sentiment expressed. These are incredibly difficult massacres that are going on. The people of Iran are being struck down. The regime has its back against the wall, and I think they are really prosecuting everybody to the maximum. And I think this puts President Trump's pledges to do something front and center. I think what they're doing is trying to figure out what would be the target set. Would it be instruments of Iranian repression, like the police or the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps? These are, just in a word, the thugs of the regime, who are the ones in the past who've been on motorcycles and now are, shooting people from the tops of buildings. So I think this is a crucial moment in this would-be revolution, and I think the United States may need to get involved to put this to a tipping point.
Do other countries in the region want the countries that we consider allies, would they want us to act here?
I think it's one of these things when public, they'll say, no, we don't want you to, but in private, as long as it's going to be effective, I think they're for it. No one is really friends with the Iranian regime so much anymore, especially in its decline. So, I think that they would be happy to see it go. I think they just want it to be decisive, and I think that's what President Trump and the National Security Council are going through, how to make this an effective regime change strike.
I want to just point this out. You used to do legislative affairs, and you also understand politics very well. Ken Martin's the head of the DNC. He put this out on X on Sunday. From Tehran to my birthplace of Minneapolis, people are rising up against systems that wield violence without accountability. Solidarity across borders means opposing authoritarian power everywhere and defending the right to live free from fear and state violence. How's that going to go on Capitol Hill?
That's just outrageous. I mean, that's trying to assert that the United States under Donald Trump is the moral equivalence of this evil regime that's persecuted and killed tens of thousands of people. So that is way out of bounds, and I don't think it's going to go down well at all.
Okay, let me take you to another part of the world, and that would be Venezuela. We talked on Monday on Perino on Politics, but there's been some developments. A handful of U.S. citizens who were imprisoned under the Maduro regime have been released. Can more be released, and quickly?
Many more need to be released, and frankly, this is probably the easiest thing that the Venezuelan regime, if you will, can do for President Trump right now. I don't think they're in the mood to make material concessions quite yet on, let's call it, migration or the cartels or any of the issues that we're really interested in. So I think this is an easy symbolic way for the Venezuelans to placate the president, but the president's still got leverage over them. He's got all these Navy ships in the region, and of course he's got we're interdicting oil tankers constantly. So I think this is an exercise in leverage to try and get them to do the right thing. But the Venezuelans are starting with the lowest hanging fruit.
Michael Allen, thank you so much, and I appreciated you being on Perino on Politics. That's available. It's still current. I mean, things have happened, but it's still worth a listen. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.